Yesterday, America was struck by yet another mass shooting, this time in Newton and Hesston, Kansas. The shooter, who was eventually killed in a shootout with police, drove through the first town that I referenced, firing shots at the people that he saw from his car before heading to his workplace at Excel Industries, and he began targeting his coworkers. Authorities said he killed 3 people and wounded 14 before being shot dead by a police officer at Excel Industries. He was armed with an assault rifle and an automatic pistol. The initial reports coming out of the police department saying he was using an assault-style long gun. Conservatives love to say that liberals just made up that term, but this is the police department saying it. Now, we have some information, now that there's been about a bit of time since the shooting, as to what might have set the shooter off. A Kansas sheriff's deputy served Ford, it was Cedric Ford who did the shooting, a protection order just 1.5 hours before he began opening fire. That officer says, I believe that probably is the trigger, and it went from there. They said he was upset, but nothing greater than anybody else who gets served PFA. So he was served this protection order at his job, and then some period of time passed, and he returned there with his firearms. Now, why was he served this protection order? And to give you an idea of who this man was, in the order, his girlfriend wrote that on February 5th, he became physical by pushing her, then grabbing her. He placed her in a chokehold from behind. She couldn't breathe. He then got me to the ground while choking me, finally releasing me. And she described him as an alcoholic, violently depressed. It's her belief that he was desperately in need of medical and psychological help.
And instead, we gave him a gun.
Yeah.
So, and there you have America for you. So we've been through this 1,000 times. We're going to be through it another 1,000 times. People are going to pretend to be surprised. And this is the result of corruption in Washington. It's not like the American people don't want regulation on guns. They do. Federal background checks, et cetera. Over 80% approval in the country. So overwhelming. In some of the cases, over 90% approval.
Yeah.
So we theoretically live in a democracy, but in reality, on the national level, we don't. We lost it. So now the lobbyists rule us all. So how do you like this system? So the chance of you being shot by a terrorist in the middle of Kansas is exceedingly small. The chance of you being shot by a coworker, fairly high, right? Yeah. Because now you've all lived through this. We all have, right? Anytime anybody gets fired, in this case, that's a little different scenario, but or someone's really kind of unstable at work. How often have you guys had that conversation? Oh, is he going to come back and shoot us all? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because there's some chance he will. And so that's the real terrorism in this country. We're terrorizing ourselves. It's going to happen over and over again. And it's become so commonplace. This happened last night in the middle of the Republican, or right before the Republican debate. They didn't even bother asking about it. Now, if ISIS had attacked in the middle of a Republican,
that's all they talk about.
They would take up literally half the debate to talk about ISIS. In fact, that did happen.
It did come up, right?
Yeah, that's literally what happened before. They changed the entire debate to talk about the shootings. In this case, it's just a regular old American who is deeply depressed and has alcoholism issues, and he can get a gun anytime he wants. It doesn't matter. Simplest thing in the world. And we take all the craziest people in the country and we make it enormously easy for them to get a gun, and then they shoot us all. No need to talk about that. That's only a real problem, one that affects all of us. So let's ignore that.
Yeah, and the joke that you referenced, everybody's made that sort of joke in America. They don't have to make that in every other country around the world. That's not some universal joke like slipping on a banana.
So you're telling me, Johnny, that in other countries they don't have the term going postal?
Probably not. No.
That doesn't mean anything in Ireland or in England. Going postal doesn't.
Maybe in some countries, but not the vast majority, I don't think. And this guy, he had some kind of criminal background, according to the Broward County, Florida Sheriff's Office, he was arrested in 2000 in connection with car break-ins, then again in 2004 for parole violations. We also have references to earlier convictions in Florida for multiple burglaries, grand theft, fleeing police. This is between 1997 and 2000. Still managed to get an AK-47, the sort of gun you need for hunting deer and protecting your home, of course. He needed a gun that's mass-produced for war.
Or shooting up your coworkers.
Yeah.
Either way. And we're in an ocean of guns. All somebody has to do is reach out and grab one. Easiest thing in the world, and shoot everybody in sight.
Yeah, and we know that he was enthusiastic about them. They have a video of him just enthusiastically shooting his AK-47. We actually have available if you want to watch that.
So
this is a guy who apparently had mental problems, a criminal past, and loved guns. Terribly dangerous thing to have. This is America. We're totally fine with filling our country with people like this, and then playing on their fears and anxieties and the things that cause them to be depressed, but not terrorists abroad. That's the scary part.
boy, but he must be really hard right then, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was very excited by that. And so maybe this will help in getting towards some reform, because it was a rare instance where it was an African American who did a shooting.
Oh,
so it might scare white people into thinking, like, wait a minute,
We gotta keep-
should everyone have access to guns?
Yes.
Maybe we should rethink this second. Remember, that's literally what happened in California when the Black Panther Party said, oh, well, Second Amendment, we can carry a weapon too.
Yeah.
And the minute black guys started carrying weapons, Ronald Reagan and the NRA got together, not kidding, look it up, okay, got together and said, yeah, let's take away some of those gun rights in California, okay?
Yeah.
So now in their case, the Black Panthers, at that point, they hadn't shot anybody. They just went into one government building at the time in California for there to be much tighter gun regulation, pushed by the NRA, signed by Ronald Reagan. So now if we have a black guy doing a shooting, and then all of a sudden people might be like, wait a minute, maybe we should do some regulation. But really, it doesn't matter, because all the people in Kansas already agree with that. Okay, it's not like, oh, Kansas is really Republican, so they don't agree with that. No, 80% of the country agrees, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, in some of the regulations, over 90% of the country agrees, including almost everybody in Kansas. But it doesn't matter if you agree, because you don't live in a democracy.
Yeah.
We're ruled by the lobbyists. So if you don't change that system, just buckle up and wait for the next shooting. It's coming to probably somewhere near you. It's a workplace, it's a school, it's a movie theater, but it's coming. So unless you get money out of politics, you're going to keep getting shot up.